1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, friends. Welcome to the Putting You Back Together Again show. I'm Rochelle Booker, a.k.a. Coach Ro.
And I'm CJ Joseph, C-E-E-J-A-Y, her part-time co-host. And as it is my custom, I'm back in the building, y'all.
Yes, he's back. Welcome back. Yes. Well, so today we're talking about a very important topic, which is part of our debate stage series, how to hold on to our democracy. Hold on, right? We're focusing on families being divided over politics. Is your family having unhealthy debates over who should be elected?
Are you sleeping on the couch tonight?
Yeah. Or are you in the guest room? Or in a guest house if you got a big enough house? If so, you're not alone. Many families and friends are falling out because of differing political views. Shocking. Isn't that shocking? So people are fighting and frustrated when their family members or friends disagree with their perspective. Mm-hmm. And it's giving a whole new meaning to social distancing.
Oh, gosh.
Not like what we did in COVID, right? In fact, Jocelyn Kiley, associate professor at the Pew Research Center, said political polarization is more intense now than ever before. And the point of modern history. So that's really eye-opening account for me to really understand the trajectory of the strife that's occurring in families. I didn't realize it was that high. In fact, nearly 80% of Americans now have just a few or no friends at all across the aisle. So yeah, a lot of people aren't even friends anymore because of the differing views and over politics. And so we're going to talk about where do we go from here, and how do we restore families? How do we get past the strife and the arguing and the bickering and the fighting over politics? Because is it really worth it, losing your peace behind some people who you don't even know, who don't even know you, who probably don't even like us? They just want our vote. I mean, plain and simple, especially in churches. Most of the time we see them when it's election cycle.
Election.
We know when election time is around the corner because the politicians pop up at our churches. So it's that's a trajectory that we're on, and that's 80% is a really high number.
It's a very high number. I believe one of the things is because of social media, 24-hour news cycle, accessible news that is either factual or misinformation.
Or fake news.
Right? That contributes to the high volatility of fallouts.
It does.
Just hardened disagreements.
Yes.
And because of that, because of the environment that we live in now, 20 years ago, same thing existed. To be true, to be sure. But because of this news cycle that we're in, social media, and also you don't really know what's real and what's fake.
That's right.
It really makes a difference.
Because how many people are actually doing their own research? They'll just read a few things on social media. It's got to be true.
Gotta be true. Or if you even hear someone say something, but not realizing that's AI. That's AI. Artificial intelligence.
That's right. And some people put their own spin on it just to sensationalize it a little bit more than what it should be. Yeah, that's true.
Well, and you're going to be more, I think we talked about this before. The lie is more entertaining than the truth.
Yeah, people don't want to hear the truth anymore. No, that's what sells. Drama. Innuendos,
fake TV show,
fake news. Yeah. All of that. And so what happens is, I think people also, in both sides, either Democrat or Republican, they are, you are typically pigeonholed. So if you are a Republican and you typically identify with what the Republicans are saying, with their belief system, with their views, right? That's why you vote for them. And same on the Democratic side. So what happens is we tend to, because we identify with those ideologies, if let's say a person is, comes across as racist because of racist rhetoric. Well, if you are supporting that candidate, then what happens is in the family, when you're having those debates or discussions, people say, well, you must be racist as well because you're voting for someone who's racist. And that's where the fights and the bickering starts to happen. Some of that is true because how can you support someone who is a racist or socialist, because they say it on the left side, something extreme on any parties, and say that you don't identify with that, but that's the person you're voting for. So you've got to be supporting that behavior, right?
Well, yes, and to a certain degree, because really in politics, you're choosing the lesser of the two evils. So you may not agree with a person who has alignment with misogyny or racism, but there's some other things that you agree with that person. And then, so now you're going to put all your stock into that person because of the few things that you agree upon versus the red light issues that they have.
The pivotal issues.
Yes.
And that's definitely true. Like on the Republican side, there are a lot of like Catholics or a lot of conservatives who don't believe in abortion. So that's an issue that would certainly motivate people to vote, Republican. However, what about the entirety of their character? What about a holistic view of someone? So, let's just not, because we have to be careful just slicing something up. Because what about the totality of their character, the nature of who they are? Like when we talk about the nature of God, the totality of God, God's holistic character, who he is, his holistic being. Same goes with likewise with people. What about our nature and our character? Doesn't that matter anymore? I mean, why is that thrown out of the window these days?
Well, it's thrown out the windows these days because they don't want to support another candidate. And they'll overlook everything that candidate has within their DNA just because they don't want to support the other candidate.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons. The other reason is, again, maybe there is something about the candidate they really like, and they'll just push aside everything else that's not an alignment with who they are, but that candidate has it within their character. So
they just turn a blind eye to, people who are misogynist, who are downgrading or degrading other people. It's hard to look past that. Do we have a comment in the chat?
I wanted to interject something I heard on the radio this morning. On my way here this morning, I was listening to 97.9 The Box. And that question came up a lot. Why are they overlooking Donald Trump? Why are they overlooking that he's a convicted felon?
Right.
And this is what the radio show host found via her study, but via her research. She found that state law, if he had been convicted under state law, he would not be able to vote. But because he's convicted under the federal,
he wouldn't be able to run. Yeah,
wouldn't be able to run.
Right.
Exactly. If he had been convicted or charged with a crime under the state, but because he was charged under the federal government, that is the only reason he's allowed to run.
So we understand that it's legal. So that's why I mentioned weeks ago when we had the show that's why we have to put in new lawmakers, elect new lawmakers to these courts so that we can change, or to Congress to change some of these laws that have been on the books for decades and decades. So when we're talking to our family and friends, that's why things get so heated. We have these heated, and I can speak for myself that I've got a sibling, my brother, he supports Trump. And we have had some very, very spicy conversations, to say the least, very spicy, because I'm like, and the same thing, how can you support someone who comes across as a racist, misogynist, convicted of sex abuse? I mean, these kinds of things and especially he's a man of God. How is that acceptable as a person of God? It's just some things you've got to stand up against and speak against.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was his response? What was his answer? Why does he support Trump?
Oh, his voice just became elevated. And he says he likes Trump. He kind of just dismisses all of that other negative stuff. And he comes back to, well, he's better for the economy. That was his main thing. Our economy was a lot stronger. It was thriving under Trump versus Biden. So he feels that Harris is going to repeat the same, political agenda and legislation as Biden. So
what about that deficit that was left?
Yeah. And what about how he mismanaged COVID? Right? He told us to drink chlorine or bleach.
Well, people, they think that the economy was thriving. If you actually go back and really look at the information and read it for yourself, there was a deficit. You can't throw money at everything, right? In order to fix it. Mm-hmm. There was a deficit that was left for the largest deficit that was left for the next administration.
And we inherited. Yeah.
Oh,
we have a caller.
We got a call.
Okay. Catch that call. Hi, caller. Thank you for calling into the show. Who are we talking to?
It's Angela. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Angela. Hey, friend. How you doing?
Why is it I always have a story for y'all's topic? Every single time.
Listen.
Keep it coming.
Yeah, keep it coming. Like Keith Sweat said, keep it coming.
What kind of family drama you've been having over politics?
Oh, I always say that election time brings out weirdos. Swear you not. Every time.
It's Halloween, election time too.
Exactly. So I'm like, oh my God. So one of my best friends, and I've known her since high school. Like I met her when she was in 9th grade, and I believe I was a sophomore or a junior. I can't remember, but we've known each other for a very long time. And the other day we had a friendly debate. I was driving to drop off my daughter, and she was like, yeah. And I don't even know how the subject came up. I try to stay out of those types of conversations because I almost get irritated sometimes when I think that people are just gullible, like to listen to certain like rhetoric that I'm just like, seriously, like, let's really, really think about this. Come on now. I don't even remember how we got on the subject. And as I was driving, I said, oh my God, please, Jessica, don't tell me that you believe that the people in Springfield are eating cats and dogs. And she's like, oh my God, I saw the video. I was like, stop.
Stop right now.
Time out.
I was like, stop. I'm not having this conversation with you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you did that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the debate went on for a hot second, and you know what though? I even told her, I said, you know what? I was like, it was a good debate. And I even told her afterwards, like I sent her a text message because I know I didn't want her to think that I was mad at her. Right.
Right.
So I sent her a text message and I was like, hey, I just want to say thank you for the debate this morning. You really got my brain turning, right? You really got me on my P's and Q's. You have me researching now, because I haven't been in high school and middle school in a hot minute. I can't remember like all of the processes and procedures like Congress, who makes the laws, who does the budgeting, whether the Republicans or Democrats, who's holding the majority of the seats.
Right.
She made me go and research all this. She made me go and look and realize what was going on. Mm-hmm. I think it came to a point where I just didn't care, right? Because either way, I was like, they're both like, to me in my mind, like whenever the election happened with, didn't Trump run against Clinton?
Hillary. Yes.
Hillary, right?
Uh-huh.
And so it made me like go back and just kind of look, because at the time I was like, oh my God, I mean, yes, I would love to have a woman in the seat, but then I think about the backlash behind it.
Angela,
because Mexico has it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Please hold for just a second.
Yeah.
Thank you, Angela.
Hi, caller. Thank you for calling in. Who are we talking to?
Talking to Riz Taylor.
Hey, Red Taylor, how you
Red.
doing?
I'm doing good. I was scrolling online and I saw what topic y'all were talking about the country being divided. And I was like, let me call in.
Yes, yeah. Can you hold on real quickly? We want to get back to our other caller and kind of conclude that call. Hold on real quickly. We'll be right back.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, Angela.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for your comments.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For your support.
I'll be listening in.
Yeah, please do. And put some more comments in the chat. We love it. Keep them coming. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey,
Yes.
thanks for calling in. Yeah, what's on your mind?
I was wondering, is it when I read the question, if I was reading it right, is the political state, like the political choices we have, dividing our country? Is that what we're asking?
Well, particularly when it comes to family
and friends. Yeah.
Family and friends. So if you have a close family member where you all's views are different, your candidates, our choices are different, but it's causing a falling out between you two.
Right.
Have you had any situations like that? And if you don't, what is your comment on, and it looks like the country is somewhat divided on who they're going to vote for, as it is per usual every 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
well, I do have friends and family I spend a lot of time with. On Sundays, I'm with the family. On Monday nights, I'm with the friends watching football. So it gets political sometimes. It definitely gets political. I do notice some people have a way of thinking, a way of doing things, and I don't think it always matches with someone's political affiliation.
Sure.
So I do notice the divide, though. At some point, we do have to notice it.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, Mr. Taylor. Have you ever been in a situation where it has caused a falling out with you and your family member and or friend because of political views?
Yeah. I was at the bar last Monday, and like I said, one of my friends just so happened to be talking a little too loud, and I think I said we already know who's winning, the election.
Yeah.
And that made some people mad.
Right.
I didn't say who was winning or who I thought would win, but it did upset someone to hear me say that.
So how did you handle that? What was your response? Was it confrontational, or how did you guys resolve it?
No, I played sports in high school, so I do like to believe, I can handle confrontation the right way. I did grow up going to church.
Yes.
So I respect how they feel, and I'm blessed that we live where we live. I've been in other parts of the world where you can't, specifically express who you're going to be voting for, and that's a blessing that we can do that and have a difference of opinion. That's the number one reason I called in, just to say how great that is of an opportunity to, be able to differ with someone and still go ahead and differ.
Yeah, and that's a very mature way to look at things. Agree to disagree. What a novel idea. Why can't Congress do that?
Right. And most importantly, what you just mentioned, how we have the freedom to do so. And part of that is having the freedom to do so is by exercising your right to vote. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that we like to make sure we're getting across is that you actually exercise your right to vote. So if you have family or friends that are registered voters, I think it's too late now to register. But if you have family or friends who are registered but are not going to vote, encourage them to vote.
And absolutely. That's right. And then early voting starts on Monday, the 21st. So the main thing is, and even if they disagree with you, we have to respect our differences.
Right.
Because sometimes what happens is we try to convince or persuade other people to have views that align with our views. And then when they don't, that's when all the strife starts and the frustration.
We demonize people for not agreeing with us politically sometimes. And I definitely noticed that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I believe it boils down to a healthy dose of respect for one another.
Yeah.
And not only for the political world, but for every situation that we have. There's a healthy dose of respect. If we just all have some sort of respect for one another.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
I mean, seriously, our country, our world would be a much better place.
Even something bigger than that, because that's going to flow from this other thing is love. If we all love one another, guess what? Respect is going to flow directly from that. And peace.
Absolutely.
And compassion, everything else.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But thank you so much. That's excellent comment. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for taking the call. You guys have a good day.
You too.
Thanks for listening, too.
Take care. Okay. And more research is according to a recent poll conducted by the Public Religion Research Institute, 8 in 10 Republicans believe the Democratic Party has been taken over by socialists, while 8 in 10 Democrats believe the Republican Party has been taken over by racists. So, and that report was called Dueling Realities. And you see why we're so divided.
And here's a historical, interesting perspective.
Uh-huh.
The majority of blacks used to be Republicans back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Back during the Reconstruction era, somewhere in that era, the 1800s. Used to be Republicans.
And a lot has changed.
A lot has changed.
Evolved. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, and so in our thinking, as we grow and as we mature, sometimes our position does change.
Yeah.
Once we start doing the research that we need to do. Back in the day, years ago, 30, 40, we didn't have internet. We didn't have social media. So we couldn't go to their campaign sites and actually look up, what do they really represent? What do these candidates really stand for?
Right.
What do they really believe? What is their real perspective? Because they spin a lot of things when they have these debates, right?
Well, yeah, a lot of the spin factory is busy.
It's busy.
But on top of that, what we've known is historically for politicians, they're on the campaign trail, stumping the campaign trail.
Yeah.
And they're telling you what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
To get your vote.
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as they say,
mm-hmm.
I do, I swear, or what have you.
They flip the script.
Because there's money involved.
They flip the script. Yeah.
There's money involved.
So it all comes back to money, power. We talked about idol worship, and that's what we talked about. Control, power, money, all of that. And that's why a lot of times they just want to stay in office just because of those things. It's not about you. It's not about them or about your family, your friends, or about us. It's about them.
It's about them.
Yeah.
Truly about them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are going to transition to a quick commercial break, guys, but stick with us because we still have a whole half an hour show to go. And call in if you have any experiences with falling out with your family or friends, or you've actually witnessed this happening with other people. Yeah. Be sure to share that with us.
Stay tuned for...
Would you do it on the good enough? Do you think about us? Would you do without me? Can I be without you for the night? Without hearing all about it, tell me that you doubt it. All the shit that we did in the past.
Welcome back. Yes,
welcome back to Putting You Back Together Again show with Coach Ro and CJ, CEEJAY. We are talking about our debate series, our debate stage series.
Yes.
Is your family divided over politics?
Yeah.
Have you had a falling out? Do things get a little testy?
A little spicy.
Edgy.
Yes.
Around the dinner table. Thanksgiving is around the corner.
Oh, we've got a comment in. Okay. Who's this from? Let me be your inspiration. I was saying that Mexico has a female president now, but it's only been a few months, so we don't know the results of how the effect will play into politics.
This is the caller's
Miss
name
Angela
on Instagram.
Yes. Thank you, Angela.
Okay.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yes, Mexico does have its first female president. But, to be sure, that's a dangerous job over there.
Yeah, being a police officer, anything.
That's a dangerous job.
So she's got to have 24/7 security.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but let's give them a pat on the back for at least electing. They beat us to the punch. They beat us.
Yes.
And electing a female.
A lot of countries have.
Yeah. Oh,
to
yeah.
be sure.
Well, Mexico of all places, though. I'm just shocked. Yeah. We have another.
The majority of presidents since Reagan were Republicans.
Yeah.
I've never looked at that before. Because you had the Bushes. Mm-hmm. You had, that was 16 years, right? And then Reagan was 80s.
Yeah.
So, but then President Obama was 8.
Mm-hmm. 2 terms, yeah.
And Mr.
8 and 12. President
Clinton was 8. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Oh, we got another comment. He who controls the money is the boss. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's typically how it works.
That's how it works. Yeah, like CEOs of companies, they're the boss, right? They control and manage all of that. So one of the things we have to do is to be willing to listen. And the scripture says we have to be slow to speak and quick to listen.
Yes.
Because we all want to hear, but we also need to be heard. It's not just to hear, but we also want. Oh, we got another. Yes. Okay.
I call it. Talk to us. Who do we have on the line right now?
Hello, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Who are we talking to?
Summer.
Hey, Summer. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
We are wonderful. What's on your mind? Any experiences with falling outs with family over the political divide?
Can y'all hear me okay? Because I can barely hear you guys.
Yes, we sure can.
Yes,
Let's see if we can adjust the volume. Yeah, you're loud and clear. Can you hear us now?
It's just a little muffled.
Huh. Interesting. Do this for us, if you don't mind. Hang up and call back to make sure any static.
Okay.
Line.
Okay. 2 seconds.
Miss Summer.
Okay.
Miss Summer. It might be something. She might have the volume on her telephone.
Well, I wasn't getting the feedback on it, but she's gonna call.
Yeah, she's gonna call right back. Yeah. I love her name. And
Yes.
Summer, you're sticking around too long in Houston.
Too long,
It's
exactly.
too hot, Summer.
It was 101
Yes.
yesterday and 96 today.
For mid-October. And Summer, you're still sticking around.
Come on now. Bring your cousin.
Yes. In the fall, yes.
Summer, can you hear us?
That's perfect.
Is that better?
Beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful.
Yeah, what's the time?
Okay. It's not even just, I have a couple of family members. Where do y'all want me to go with this? I have so much to say.
You start with your cousin.
So I think the problem is that people are literally jumping on a bandwagon. I'm not sure if it's because Kamala is a woman or what's going on, but it's like we just can't stick together. Because there's I feel like I have a cousin. He's only 20 years old.
Right.
But where the town that he's from, it is predominantly white. It's predominantly white, and most of his classmates are white, right? So I try not to make things about race, though. I go off of facts. To me, the most things that people say when they bring up when I bring up Kamala and Democrats, they don't have facts. It's always something negative towards Kamala. My main questions are always, what is Donald Trump going to do for you as a minority? Right. Even if we were rich, what is he going to do for us other than spread hate? That's all he's been doing. None of us can say a policy that he has that's better than Kamala's, but he said himself he has ideas, but he doesn't lay out any policies.
Yep.
It's hateful. All he does is spread hate towards everyone. And I think the fact that people are stuck on, when he was president, we all had money. But that is not true at all. That has been debunked. I don't know how many times. Also, I'm sorry I'm all over the place. I'm just excited to talk about this.
That's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Also, another thing is that when COVID happened, I think people are forgetting. You literally have to go back and think about what was going on when COVID started and when COVID was happening.
Right.
Donald Trump was the president when COVID happened.
Right.
He was the main guy saying it's not that big of a deal. Not that many people are going to die. I think people need to go back and look at all those interviews that he did on the net.
That's right.
Drink bleach. Yeah, drink bleach. We'll be fine. He didn't do anything. So many more people died because of his negligence towards the people in this country.
Exactly.
Also, our people were dying at a higher rate, I think. So, yes. I'm African American, by the way. I think we were dying at a higher rate as well. So people were, I don't know why people don't remember that. Other countries were getting their citizens safe quickly. They took it serious, and he didn't. He really didn't give a crap about us. Yeah. Same thing with the stimulus check. That wasn't his idea. So I think that we are so stuck on, oh, well, we had this, we had checks. And I'm like, it was a global pandemic. It doesn't matter who the president was. We would have had that same money if he wasn't the president. Yeah, and I want to say we got it right when he got out, if I'm not mistaken. That COVID didn't get under control until Biden. Yeah, COVID didn't get under control until Biden and Kamala came into office.
But of course, Trump is like, he said he laid everything out. And then Biden.
Yeah, by drinking bleach.
Yeah. You're on point.
Yeah.
You are spot on.
Yes.
Yeah. And then also another thing that I think people are understanding, everybody keeps talking about inflation. Inflation. Right. First of all, every single country has gone through inflation. We are not even at the top of the list. The United States is like number 50 something in inflation. Right. I don't think that everybody is understanding what's going on here, especially us, because we don't do our research. Right. All that we're doing is looking at social media, clickbait.
Yep.
Everything is clickbait, and we are not that bad off. I can't imagine living in some other countries. I don't even know what the number one top 10 countries are, but being top 10 in inflation and ours, and we're already pretty high up there. But still, everything that he has, like I also have a very wide variety of a wide range of friends, rich ones, poor ones. They're all still my friends. I have a friend, she's a realtor, and she posted something about that as well. She said, keep in mind that Kamala wants to tax this much, whatever the percentage is, it is really high. But when you click on that story, it'll tell you, hey, she wants to tax only the people that make at least $100,000. That's not us. That's not us. So it's just a whole, I think it's a bandwagon thing. I'm not a economics person. I'm not a money person. I don't really care about money that much. Yeah, it's hard to live, but it could always be worse. Yeah. I'm not poor. You can try to make a living doing anything nowadays.
Right.
So
true.
I'm more of a morals person.
There you go. Character. There you go.
Yeah, your character, to see someone get on television. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone every time I see him on TV. To see someone get up there and name call.
Yeah.
Him and Joe Biden are a couple of years apart, maybe, because he's dealing with health issues. He's 80-something years old.
Yes.
Like, you are lucky that you're not experiencing the same issues. Like the fact that you can see someone sit up here and name call, talk crap about talk crap about immigrants. He's making blatant lies about immigrants. Public officials in Ohio are saying what he's saying is not true.
Not true.
Everything.
Yeah.
And he's still just running rampant. And I don't understand if people are. Another thing, I'm sorry to switch subjects again, but I just thought about this. Another thing is that the fact that we are, I don't know if people, like I said, people don't do their research. The amount of Republicans and people that worked for him while he was in the White House that have come forward saying how horrible of a person he is.
Yeah.
They're telling us.
That's
Many Republicans aren't Republicans. It's not that they don't want to be Republicans anymore, because a lot of people are, oh, party, I'm with my party. But they are smart enough, and they're knowing he's going to ruin this country.
That's right. You're right. A lot of people close to him are saying that, coming forward with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You are one. Thank you, Summer, for that.
Yes.
We love that comment. Yeah.
Of course. I want the younger generation to pay attention, to not just.
Absolutely.
I know clickbait. I know social media is a very quick way to learn things, but you have to pay attention to what could happen. He told us out loud and clear, he wants to be a dictator. You won't have to vote anymore. Right. I'm like, wait a minute. Do y'all really want a dictatorship? Like, this can't be serious. This can't be for real.
Yeah.
This can't be for real.
We'll have the we have nowadays. But Summer, thank you so much for calling in, young lady. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank y'all so much for having me. I would definitely be listening in more now. Thank you.
Tell your friends and family to go vote, Summer. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I will. Y'all, everybody go vote.
Yes. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Oh, she was spot on. Yeah. Yes. Another comment here from Angela. What did he bring paper
towels and
threw them out?
Yeah, that was during the early stages of
COVID. Yeah, I think that was during COVID. Yeah.
Well, he didn't realize that Puerto Rico, even though it's what's the correct term? They're of the United States, but they're different. But they're still part of the United States. Mm-hmm. And
territory.
Yeah, territory. That's the word I'm looking for. Didn't even know that.
Didn't even know that.
Didn't
even know that. I know. Or there's a lot of things he didn't know. Didn't he go to an Ivy League school? I want to see the transcript. Where is the transcript? I want to see some medical records. I want to see transcript. I want to see cognitive testing. I want to see all of that.
Yeah. Well.
If you're going to get my vote, I'm going to have to see all of that. And he's not going to show it. So there you go. Voting in the dark, because he's not going to reveal it. And what happened to common sense politics? I mean, some things are so common sense. It just blows my mind that people just believe so many lies. Oh, here we go. I just don't understand how people say I'm voting for him, even though they've caught him in so many lies. Yeah, just what I said.
I mean, even regardless of who, in this particular case, is Donald running for the presidency. But if a candidate is consistently lying to
my goodness,
to get into office,
how can you trust them?
What do you think they're going to do when they get into office?
And that's a good point. What if you were dating or married to someone who constantly, habitually lied, or your friends? Would you want to be friends with that person?
No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't, because you couldn't trust them. There's no. You've broken the trust.
Listen, baby.
Betrayed us.
You lied to me about where you were last week. You lied to me that you had an 800 credit score.
Yes.
You lied to me about, but you know what? Let's get married anyway.
Yeah. What are you gonna say? Sure, I can't wait. When? I mean, if you do that, there's something going on here. You come to my coaching class and we're gonna talk.
You need some milk.
Yes.
You need some milk.
Yes.
Whole milk.
Oh.
Half milk. Lactate. 2%. 1%. You need some milk.
Yes. That makes no sense why you'd want to associate with a habitual liar.
You like that one, Malcolm?
Yes. Oh my goodness. And even the scripture says, walk not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Yes.
So why would you want to associate with people who constantly lie to you? It makes no sense.
You lied to me.
And you can't believe anything out of their mouth. Mm-hmm. Like, where were you last night? Oh, I stayed at my mom's house. You know, he was with a woman. Or
I was at your mama's house.
Yeah, you weren't
there. Your mama that was watching Monday Night Football.
You got caught in the lie. So, I mean, come on.
Wow.
It's it's unbelievable. So let's talk about some solutions, because once you go through the strife, the fighting, now you've alienated yourselves from your friends or your families. You're not talking to one another. Mm. So we need to look at some steps of what you need to do to get through that healing process.
Yeah, heal the wounds.
Yes, because those wounds can be deep. Because some people have gone 2, 3, 5 years without talking to family members because of politics.
Because of politics.
Oh,
which doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. You have your family members here for a certain period of time.
Yes.
Politics was here before you. They're here when you're here, and they're going to be here after you. So if you're divided and not talking to your family members because of politics at the root of that, you need to fix that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because what happens is if that person dies and you didn't have a chance to reconcile or restore that relationship, you're gonna really, really, really hate yourself or be upset with yourself and have regrets. You don't want to live with regrets. Now you're crying and losing your mind because you didn't get a chance to hug and kiss that person before they died, all because of some, a presidential candidate or governor or whoever you're voting for, and your family or friends don't agree with that. So what? Is it really worth it?
No, it's not.
It's not.
To answer the question in short form, it's not.
And that was rhetorical because it's not worth it. Yeah. So let's look at solution number 1 for that healing process to take place. Try to understand the other person's point of view instead of trying to persuade or convince people to change their position or their minds.
Have an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Have an open mind.
I know it's hard to do, but let's set aside our feelings about something and let's just hear them out.
Right. At least listen.
Listen.
It starts with listening.
Yeah.
Because if you can't listen to that person, you won't make any progress.
No.
Simple as that.
No, you have to listen. And you have to validate what they're saying. That doesn't mean you have to agree, but just validate their point of view. Okay, I hear you. Okay, what you said I don't agree with, and here's why. And then have a healthy debate or healthy discussion.
Exactly. Keep the emotions in check.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's hard. Emotions can run high because when you're telling me you're voting for a racist, I'm ready to take my earrings and my shoes off, but okay. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. Number 2, don't allow politics to define your family. Talk about and sometimes you can talk about something other than politics. Yeah. You can change your frequency, change the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
To something more talk about
sports.
Talk about religion. Talk about things that are healthy. Talk about working out. Do you work out? If your family member's eating pork chops every day and gaining weight, maybe you can encourage that person to work out. Talk about health and fitness. I'm just saying, especially in the Black community. Come on now, diabetes is high. Heart disease is high. Come on now.
Stay away from the pig.
Stay away. Well, I love bacon, but I've had to cut that out of my diet. And if you got a spouse who eats a lot and they're gaining weight, why not talk about that instead of talking about politics? Exactly. Are you kidding me?
Well, but that may be another hot topic as well.
The stress level.
I'm gaining weight. You like me then? You better like me now.
No, it's like when they met you, you were probably 50 pounds lighter, or he was 50 pounds lighter because men gain weight too.
What we got?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Everyone has to remember, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Amen. Everyone knows what's best for their families. I say if you don't feel comfortable about politics, then don't discuss it.
Take it off the table.
Yes, take it off the table.
Take it off the table.
Keep it to something that's positive.
Yeah, there are certain families, when they come around for Christmas dinners, family dinners, Thanksgiving dinners, and things of that nature, they have rules already established of what topics are off the table. Yeah. Politics or any other family issues that may be taking place.
Yeah. Right? So you might want to stick with non-controversial topics. I know it's hard because you can talk, because some people in your family may be Christians, some may be atheists, some may be Muslim, Buddhist. Yeah. So, Hindu. So, so if you want to go there, that could be another trigger point that starts up an argument. So you just have to be careful with that. And it's also how you do it, how you discuss. Yeah, your tone makes a big difference. It's how you say it.
The resonance.
Yes. It makes a difference.
Angie wants to know if y'all are wait, are y'all calling me fat? That's what Angie's asking.
No.
Oh gosh, no.
No, not at all. You are beautiful.
Yes.
And you can be overweight. We're saying people who are overweight, you're still beautiful, but that could potentially lead to some other health issues.
Yeah.
So health and wellness is very important. And I did a show on that. Guys, if you missed it, you can see the tape. It was about a month or two ago when I talked about health and wellness. And we need to do that on a quarterly basis because that's very important. We want you to have longevity and live a healthy, fruitful life. Yeah. Because I think heart disease is either the number 1 or number 2 killer in women. So guys, we got to be, really vigilant about our health too. Yeah. Some people talk more about health, politics than health. So, again, what's important to you? What really matters, right? And then number 3, ask how someone arrived at their perspective. Sometimes it's just one issue, like I said, abortion, that persuades them to vote for a particular party.
Yes. I mean, because that person, most likely, they may not be able to verbalize on how they arrived at their point of view.
Sometimes they can't. It's hard for them to articulate that.
And then if they're not able to articulate it, then like the glove, if it don't fit,
you must have quit. Yeah, exactly. So it's again back to research. Are people actually doing their research, or just listening, or that was or they overheard a conversation and now that's influenced their belief?
Exactly, and that's a lot of that secondhand listening, that secondhand smoke. Right. That's right. So if they can't verbalize on how they arrived at their point of view, maybe then there could be some in-moment self-inflection, or maybe after the conversation, or how did I get to this point? Yeah. And if they don't realize or how they're able to get to that point, maybe they'll come around without you getting angry and hot-headed to not necessarily your way of thinking, but thinking clearly.
Yeah, because they may come around. So you have to stay calm and stay at peace. Yes. Maintain your inner peace.
Yes. Yeah. Protect your peace.
Yeah, that is very important. Yeah. Because hey, if you lose your peace, then your blood pressure starts rising and back to some potential health issues with that. Stroke, heart attack. Come on now, let's keep it real. It's not worth losing your peace behind. And speaking of the party affiliations, we talked about that. If you're voting for someone who really doesn't have character, right, or compromises his or her character, that's important because if you're aligning with that type of person, convicted of sex abuse or who comes across as a racist, that should really matter and mean something. Because just like me, there was a guy who was really attracted to me, really liked me. This was years ago. And he this was a Caucasian guy, and he was also telling me that his close friends were racist. And I'm looking like, you want to date me? And
is this the one that you went out to dinner with?
That's the one I went out to dinner with. And he was telling me that his friends are racist. And I'm like, okay, how can you be friends? And this guy is a devout Christian. So back to character being into play here. How can you associate with people who are known racist, tell racist, hateful jokes, spew racist rhetoric, and you're okay as a Christian hanging out with these people? Birds of a feather flock together. Yes. So he's saying he's not a racist. And I'm like, well, if you're not, how can you then hang out with people who are?
Because sometimes if you are hanging out with someone who is racist, misogynist,
that's right,
whatever the case may be, then, and you're not calling them out on their behavior.
That's right.
Then you're condoning it.
You have to. You're complicit.
Yeah, you're complicit.
That's right.
So if you're hanging around with them, you may be associated with.
That's my point.
Their way of thinking.
Yeah, and these spirits are transferable. Yeah. Spirits can jump on you too. So don't let negative influences you change their view. We've got a call. Okay. Hi, caller. Thank you for calling into the show. Who are we talking to?
I'm listening in to Angela. I was listening to your conversation about how the Caucasian gentleman was like into you, and then he was telling you about how the people were racist around him.
Yes.
Okay. Quick story, I promise. Won't take very long. The same person, Jessica, right? If you were to look at Jessica, she looks completely Hispanic. Right? She has, dark brown hair. She has a tint to her skin tone. Now me, I'm a little bit, I look Hispanic, but I'm actually a little bit lighter than her. So, and the way I talk, people have confused me for a Caucasian.
Huh, okay.
What is so funny is she went to the store and she was standing in line. She said she was standing in like the 15 or less quick, go get something, and just scan it and go. Well, she kind of distracted herself and she was looking at some of the magazines, and a Caucasian lady was behind her. And she didn't realize, because she was looking at the magazines, that a person had disoccupied one of the registers. And so she can move the line. The lady behind her, the Caucasian lady, tells her, that's why they should have built that wall. People like this don't know how to pay attention.
Oh my gosh.
My friend was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in the military, because she was in the military. She was like, I'm in the military. I voted for Trump. And I told her, I was like, the thing is I don't know what, I just don't get it. Why do you have to justify? You know what I'm saying? Like, I voted for Trump to make friends with people. Like, stop. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how people can sit there and be like, I'm voting for him even though I'm being mistreated.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Right. And then you want to have that person to come to your way of thinking, or
to right.
Yeah.
And that's not cool.
It's not cool. Thank you, Angela. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh yes, definitely. Okay, I'm done.
Oh yeah, thank you, sweetie.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. And then the other solution that's part of the healing process is to hold on to your relationships that matter to you, that are important to you. That's what's important, is family, friends, people who love you, people that you love. That's more important than, getting into fights and disagreements over politics. Again, people that you don't even know, who don't even know you, and you're fighting over things that, sure, our democracy definitely matters, makes a difference. But what about your relationships with your friends and family?
Because really, these debates, these conversations, they really come up every 4 years. But in between those 4 years,
well, those off years, we should be voting too. And I constantly talk about politics, because it's not just every 4. Those are the major elections. Right. But you also have the off years where you're voting for, senators, or you're voting for a congressman. So those are important too, guys. Don't just vote every 4. You got to vote every 2 as well.
But the point I'm trying to make is the national debate about politics and falling out
absolutely
really occurs around every 4 years. But then during those years, between those 4 years, are you not going to be talking to your family?
Well, and also we have to understand, it's not just the presidents who make the lawmakers, the Congress, folks in Congress are the ones who are pushing these agendas. So people want to tie all this and hang it around the neck of the presidents. Presidents can't do nothing without Congress, guys. And you're fighting and arguing over a presidential candidate, their hands are tied. When Obama got elected to the White House, Mitch McConnell was like, obstruction, we're going to be obstructionists, and we are not going to work with President Obama. That was the first thing out of Mitch McConnell's mouth. Go back and look at the tapes, guys, if you don't believe us. And so you also have to hold them accountable. So you can't just talk about a Republican president or Democratic president. What about congressmen? So the Speaker of the House, the Senate, right?
Right.
So again, the off years, we got to constantly vote because they are going to make a big impact in what laws are put into effect that impact our lives, our daily lives. I think we got time to run our commercial one more time. Those are our sponsors; they're paying our bills, guys. So we want to give them some exposure. Yeah. So good discussion. Keep the comments coming. Good discussion here.
Yes.
Yeah. Very important.
Would you do it on a good enough? Do you think about us? Would you do without me? Can I be without you for the night? Without hearing all about it, tell me that you doubt it. All the shit that we did in the past.
Oh, well, Thank you for joining us. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome
Guys,
back.
if you missed it, we've been talking about politics dividing our families, dividing our friendships, the strife that we allow into our relationships over politics, over politicians, and it's just not worth it. And so we've been talking about some solutions, kind of wrapping up the show now, some key solutions of how to avoid those traps. And then if you do fall into the trap of that, make sure you are going through that healing process of trying to reconcile and restore those important relationships.
Exactly, because it's not worth it. It
It's
really
not.
isn't.
Mm-mm.
It really isn't. Think of all the great times you had with your family or your friends, and get back to those great times.
Yeah.
Get back to creating more
Yes.
great times.
Yeah.
Right?
And celebrate good times. Come on. I mean, we have to. Life is too short, and tomorrow's not promised to any of us.
No.
So your loved one that you haven't talked to in 5 years, what if that person doesn't wake up tomorrow? You're going to be devastated, and didn't talk to them all because of a politician.
A politician. Someone that you don't know.
That's right. Yeah. It's unbelievable about some of the drama that we allow into our lives.
Right.
It's unbelievable. Any last minute thoughts that you want to share with us before we wrap up?
Protect your peace.
Yeah.
Protect your peace. If you feel when you're going into those conversations where it may be hotly contested and debated, where you think there could be a falling out, just remove yourself from the scene, reconvene, regroup, come back, and pick a different topic.
Yeah.
Pick a different topic.
Yeah.
But most importantly, make sure you exercise your right to vote.
Yes.
We're big on voter registration,
That's right.
exercising your right to vote, because this is how we maintain our freedoms.
Our democracy. This whole series about how to protect our democracy.
And part of that is voting.
And guess what? If you vote for the wrong candidate, we may actually lose our freedoms and our voting rights.
Exactly.
And some of the things that we really cherish in this country.
Exactly.
So be mindful of that.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that, CJ.
Absolutely.
Great commentary. So our new series is on how to hold on to our democracy. And while that's very important, what's more important is holding on to our families, friends, and loved ones. Politicians come and go. Some are voted out and some have to leave because of term limitations. However, there are no term limitations when it comes to our families. We're locked in forever. So ask yourself, is it really worth it, like CJ and I have been saying throughout this whole segment, to allow politicians whom you don't know to tear up your relationships? If you have fallen out with your family members or friends, do the right thing to rebuild the relationship. God is able to restore relationships and put them back together again. Do you do your part to keep the peace, and God will do his part and do everything else to help restore and refresh, renew, and revitalize those relationships. So that does it for us, guys. Be sure to follow us and like us on social media. I love you, and be sure to love yourself. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Be blessed.
1, 2, 3.